No mai haere mai, no o tautahi aho, ko Mandy tuku ingoa. Hi there, my name's Mandy Dempsey. I'm coming to you from Christchurch, New Zealand, where I work as a digital learning specialist in schools, and I'm also a part of the Apple Professional Learning Specialist Network. So, today's session. So over the next hour, we'd like to give you a taste of what your students can experience in using the Pages app to create some highly engaging digital books that can really celebrate their writing. So here is what you're going to achieve during the session. You're going to use a template to create your own digital book. You're going to create some stunning illustrations. You'll learn how to add text, add audio, and finally how to export and share your book. Also along the way, we're going to explore some of the built-in iPad accessibility tools that your students can utilise to not only enhance their writing, but perhaps to overcome some barriers that they might face. So before we start, we'll need to check on a couple of settings on your device. So these are settings that we're going to make use of during the session. So the first is to ensure that the dictation tools are enabled, and the second is to ensure that speak selection is turned on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a 30-second demo for each that'll guide you through checking on these settings. So here is the first one now.
To enable dictation, we're going to open up the Settings app, and down the left-hand side, I'm going to scroll until I can see the search bar at the top left, and I'm going to type in Enable Dictation, and that will show up a shortcut. I can tap on that. Now I'm going to shrink my keyboard, and you'll see the option to enable dictation here, and I'm just going to turn the slider to green and tap on Enable Dictation, and then you're all ready to go.
Great. Now to check on the second setting.
Now we're going to set up speak selection. So again, I'm going to go back to the Settings app, scroll my finger down that left-hand menu until I see the search bar, and this time I'm going to type in speak selection. And you'll see it sits under Accessibility Spoken Content. So I'll just tap on that to open it. Now, shrink my keyboard. So to turn on speak selection, just tap on the slider. And we have a few options here. I've turned on highlight content so that words are highlighted as they're spoken. You can customize the voice that you want to hear, and importantly, you can set the pace, the speaking rate. And so we can go from slower to faster, and it will preview that for you. Once you've set that, you're comfortable with that, then you can tap on the home button and you're ready to go.
Okay, so let's make a start on a simple picture book called Animal Alliteration. So I've made a start with some ideas, and you might like to think of some of your own. So the first step in this process is to create some digital art for our cover page. Today we're going to incorporate another app into our workflow, and that app is Te Asui Sketches School. So how the session's going to work is that for each step of the process, I'm going to show you a short demonstration video that you can just sit back and watch. And then I'll give you some time, or allocate some time for you to have a go yourself, have a play. Also know that I'm going to provide you with links to all of those demonstration videos after the session. So if you feel like you've missed a step along the way, or you're worried that you won't remember all of the skills that we cover, you can be rest assured that you can revisit your learning. So step one is a 30-second clip for you to watch first and then to follow, and it just takes you through opening the app, adjusting a few settings, and starting a new canvas.
Right. First thing we're going to do is open up Sketches School. So we look for the app, we tap on it to open it. We land in the project library. Now before we start, there's just a couple of settings I want us to check. I'd like you to tap on the settings cog on the top left corner, tap on preferences, and just a couple of things that are good for when working with students. Tap on the auto save button, so it will automatically save the drawing every 3 minutes, and also the backup, so any new drawings that are created are automatically saved to your photos library. That's very helpful. So just check that they're turned on. Now I'm going to make a new folder for my artwork. Here it is here. Later I can rename it by tapping on the settings cog, but for now I'm just going to tap on the folder and then tap on add to create a new canvas.
So if you haven't already done so, we've set a timer for 30 seconds, and this should be plenty of time for you to follow that process. Right, now for the fun part, exploring the gorgeous selection of tools that Sketches School has to offer.
Down the left-hand side, we have all of the tools that we have available to us. And to select a tool, you just tap on it and you start using your pencil or your finger on the canvas. Over the right-hand side here, you can change the thickness of your tool. Okay. Down the bottom right corner, if you tap, and you can scroll to select your color. We've got everything from beautiful ink pens, we've got felt pens, we've got paints, brushes. Again, at any stage, you can just adjust your colors, your thicknesses. We've got crayons, so some interesting texture effects that you can create. One of my favorites would have to be the beautiful oils. I'll just get some nice thick ones there, and you can have fun layering, and later we can do some blending. I'll show you how to do that. So we'll just get some oils on the canvas there. My children love using the watercolors. So I'll just pick a color here. I'm going to choose a thick one there. I'm just going to tap my finger on the screen. Okay, so there's all sorts of things that just that you can explore and do with these tools. Here's another favorite, would have to be the spray guns. The kids love using the spray guns. We've also got, you can add text, you can add pre-made shapes. So I'm just going to type ABC here, shrink the keyboard. Now I can change color, and I can also, with my fingers, I can pinch to zoom, and I can position on my canvas. Just tap on the tick to finish that. Another favorite of mine would be the fill tool. So you can easily fill any blank spaces. So here I'll just choose a color, have a purple background, and you can choose patterns, you can choose block color, and I'm just going to double tap on the background, and it can instantly fill for me. Now I'm just going to undo what I've done. This button at the top here is so handy for the kids. It just undoes their last action if they go too far. They've got a redo option. The other thing you can do with the fill tool is if you have drawn any closed shapes and you want to color them in, you can use the fill tool, you can select your color, and then you can double tap inside the closed shape to fill it, or you can select the roller brush and your color, and you can go about just drawing your shape. You've also got an eraser. Now the eraser is good, but you can see that it rubs out all of the layers, so that's why you might use the undo instead, but the eraser option is there. This one here, what I was talking about before, you can blend your strokes together. So I'm just going to blend those oils. And so it's like just mixing paints on the canvas. It's so exciting. Right, there we go. So there's all sorts of really fun, exciting things you can do. Last of all, we've got a cutter tool. And so I can use it to select an object. I can move it around the screen. Also, it might be quite handy. Sometimes you could, if you put two fingers inside the selected shape and move your fingers, it's a duplicate tool. Okay, so you can use it for that as well. So to save, you just a simple pinch. So thumb and finger, I'm just going to pinch on the canvas, and it automatically saves it there to my project library. But as mentioned before, it also saves it instantly to my photo library. Now, if I come back in here, what I'd like you to do now is to create something similar to this. We're just going to make a title page for our book, for our animal alliteration book. You'll have 3 minutes to do that, just to really get a chance to play with some of the tools. As the time gets closer to finishing, I just want you to do that 2-finger pinch to save, so it's in the photo library, ready to go for the next step.
Great. We have allocated 3 minutes for you to explore and to create that piece of cover art, and we'll start our timer now. Okay, so we'll put our cover art to one side for a moment and we'll make a start on our digital book using the Pages app. So for the first step in this process, we'll look at creating a new book and using a storybook template.
We're going to start our book by opening up the Pages app. We come to the project library. We're going to create a new project by tapping on plus top right corner. And then we're taken to a wide range of templates that we can utilize, and there's lots of different categories here. We're going to go straight to the Books category, tap on Books, and if you scroll down to the bottom, the template we'll use today is the story template down the bottom here. So I'm going to tap on it to open up that template. And it'll be a good idea at this stage to rename our file. So tap on the name on the middle top, tap rename, and I'm just going to call my book Animal Alliteration. I might already have another copy of that, so I might call it 3. There we go. So my file's named and I'm ready to go.
Okay, I'll give you a minute and a half now to follow that process of opening the app, creating a new project, and finding that book storybook template. Great, now for the next step.
Right, let's work on our cover page. So we're going to replace this placeholder art with our own Sketches School drawing, and we're going to change the title text here. So when you see an image on a template with the add symbol in the bottom corner, that means it's a placeholder. So I'm going to tap on that placeholder, and up pops the option to choose a photo or video from your photo library. So here, tap on that. I can see my image that I saved successfully before. I'll select that. Now you'll see it's kind of cropped it out a little bit. So if you double tap on the image, you can adjust the borders, but you can also adjust the masking. So using the slider, you can zoom in or you can zoom out. Okay, so that's done. Now again, with the text, to change it, double tap and I can type in my new title. So animal alliteration. And I'm just going to change the author's name here. So I'll double tap and we'll just go by Mandy. Okay, so that's what I'd like you to do now is just create your cover page. Create your cover page with your Sketches School art and create your new title.
I'll give you 1.5 minutes for this process. Okay, so with our cover page completed, we'll now look at adding a new page, and we'll also look at making use of Siri Dictation to add your text.
We're going to add page 2. Now to do that, you'll see down the left-hand side, we've got our page thumbnails, and it's got some templates in there that we might like to use. I'm just going to delete those for now. So to delete them, I tap, and then I tap again and press delete. So I tap to select and give it one more tap, choose delete from the menu, tap, tap, delete. There we go. And I'm going to add my page 2. So if I go to the add symbol down the bottom left corner, and I'm going to choose this template here. So again, we've got some placeholder text. Now I don't want this one here, so I'm just going to tap on it and choose delete from the menu. So you can always delete any of the placeholder elements. This one I want to keep, but I want to edit it, so I'm going to double tap on it and I'm going to type in A is for alligator. There we go. I'm going to shrink my keyboard and I want to add my text in here. I want to say an anxious alligator ate an apple. So I'm going to double tap on that placeholder text, and I could use my keyboard or I could use Siri Dictation to dictate what I want to say. So we'll do that now. I'm going to tap on the microphone and it's going to start listening to me. An anxious alligator ate an apple. And I'm going to tap on the keyboard. Whoops, it caught the end of what I'm saying. So let's just take that little bit off there. And we just need to fix up an anxious alligator. There we go. So usually pretty accurate using Siri Dictation. So a very helpful tool for our students. And now we're ready for the next step.
I've allocated a bit of time for this because if you haven't already utilised Dictation, I highly recommend giving it a go. So we'll have about a minute and a half to explore. Okay, so for our cover page, we created our artwork using a third-party app, as in Sketches School. However, you can also create stunning illustrations using some of the built-in tools within the Pages app itself. And these can be easily accessed via the add symbol on the top right of your screen. Let's take a look.
Now we're going to add some more artwork, but this time we're going to make use of the tools that are built into the Pages app. The first thing I'm going to do is get rid of this placeholder here. So I'm going to tap and choose Delete from the menu. Then, to add my artwork, I'm going to go up to the Add button, top right corner. We've got a few options here. I'm going to go across to this Shapes tab, the second one from the end there. And you'll see in the Shapes tab here, we've got lots of different categories, a huge variety, a huge library of shapes that we can utilize. Now to search for a shape's really easy. You just tap on the magnifying glass there, and I'm going to search for an alligator. See if we've got one in here. Here we go. I'm going to tap on it to add, and I can reposition it around my screen. I can grab one of the blue handles, stretch it out to make it bigger, my lovely big alligator, and I'll position it into place. I'm going to add another shape now. This time I'll just press the X. I'm going to look for an apple. I've got an apple in the library. Okay, and I can position that as well. Now I want to format my shape. So to do that, you must select it first. You know it's selected when it gets that beautiful blue border around the outside. And then to format, you're going to tap on the paintbrush, the formatting tool. And you've got lots of different options here. I'm going to go to Style, and I'm going to go down to Fill. And I'm going to play with a gradient fill. So my start color, I might be a light green so that I can go back. And my end color, I might go a nice deep green. So I've got a lovely gradient fill for my alligator. I'm going to do similar to the apple. So remember to select it first. Go to the paintbrush, fill, gradient, start color. Might start with a light green, and then I might end with a lovely juicy red. Here we go. There's some other options too. If I select, go to Format, you can add a shadow or a border. I'll do the same with the apple. I can add a shadow, and here I'm actually also going to add a reflection. So that's quite a cool effect too. Now I'm going to draw over top of my shapes. So I'm going to go back to that Add tool. And instead of, I'm in the Shapes tab at the moment, I'm going to go back across to the last tab, the Media tab, and you will see Drawing in the list of options there. And so similar to Sketches School, we've got our tools popping up. We can set the color of our tool and the thickness. Just look at some of these tools. The first one is if you're using Apple Pencil, you've got access to the Scribble tool, which means if I write some text, it converts it to typed text. So that's huge potential with that tool. We're not actually using that tool for my illustration, but worth showing you. So lots of potential there. I'm going to go back to add. I'm going to go to drawing, and I've got pens, I've got pencils, crayons, I've got a fill tool, highlighter. I'm just going to use a pen. Now, if I hold my finger on the tool, I've got options to change the opacity level or the thickness of the tool. And then over here, we've got our color palette. If your color's not in the list, you can just click on the rainbow and you've got lots of options there. I'm just going to choose a black one, and I'm just going to draw some big googly eyes on my alligator. I'm going to give him a bit of personality. I'm going to give him some big sharp teeth, and I might give him a scaly body, a scaly tail. And I'll change color there. Might change my thickness a little bit. There we go. And I might, he's thinking that I might be anxious, but this apple looks very yummy. Okay, when you've finished with your drawing, your annotation, you just tap on Done, top left corner, and you've created your artwork using some of the built-in tools. In particular here, we use shapes and drawing.
So as you can see, there's a whole lot in there for your students to explore and get really creative with. So I'll give you about 2 minutes now to have a play yourself. This next step is something that my students just love utilising, and that is the ability to add your own voice media to your book.
Now we're going to add a voice recording. This is easy to do. We're just going to go up to the Add button, top right, make sure we're on the Media tab, and we're going to go down to Record Audio. So our microphone pops up. We're going to tap on it, talk, and then press stop. An anxious alligator ate an apple. Okay, so I've pressed stop there. You can edit. So I can trim my clip. So I can just drag those sliders in, trim in from the other end there. Okay, and you can preview. And then you can tap on insert. And that brings in a clickable button that when you tap on it, it plays it back to you.
As you can see, that process was really quick and easy. So we'll have about a minute now to have a go ourselves. Another powerful built-in iPad accessibility tool that students can utilize is the Speak Selection tool.
We're now going to use the Speak Selection tool to proofread our work. So essentially, we're going to have Siri read my text back to me. So to select the text, I need to triple tap on it. So select it first, then 1, 2, 3, triple tap should highlight it all. If it doesn't, if it fails to do that, you can always drag out those blue handles. Once it's selected, your options pop up, and one of those options is Speak. So if I tap on it, Siri will read the sentence back to me so I can check to see if it sounds right. This is great for picking up any spelling errors and also pick up any grammatical errors and punctuation.
As you try this yourself, be aware that this feature is not just limited to the Pages app. In fact, you can utilize Speak Selection across most apps, especially the Apple native apps. If your students have not explored this already, then this is definitely a skill to introduce them to. There are so many formatting options within Pages that are really easy to access and to use. So we'll explore some of those options now.
So we can format anything in our book just by tapping on it and going up to the paintbrush, to the formatting tool. So for example, I want to format this text a little further. It's a little bit small, so I'm just going to triple tap like we did before to select it. Then I'm going to go up to the paintbrush, and I've got all of my formatting options there. So I'm going to go to text. You can change font. You've got a whole range of raft of fonts to choose from. I'm just going to increase the size of my text. There we go. For this one here, I might want to change my text color. So again, I'll just do my triple tap, paintbrush, and I'll go to text style. And then if I just shrink my keyboard there, go to text, and text color, and I might just go a bit of a darker color there. Let's choose, there we go. So it sort of pops out a little bit more. You can also format the background. You can change the color of the background just by clicking on the background so nothing is selected. Tap on the paintbrush and you've got background options for your page. And so there's some really cool presets in there that you can use. Again, I'll go to my cover page now, click on format, go to background. This time I might play with, I've got presets, I've got gradient fills. Let's try that one, that's nice. Yep, so really, general rule is tap to select and click the format tool to see what options you have available to you.
Okay, I'll give you about a minute to explore some of those options. in addition to all of those formatting options, with the knowledge that you can add any media to your book that's being saved to the photo library, this opens up huge opportunity to get highly creative and integrate a wide range of apps to really enhance your audience experience. Here are just a few examples.
So we've looked at a few different ways to illustrate our book. We've incorporated Te Usui Sketches School. We've used the built-in tools within Pages, shapes and drawings in this case. But there's lots of other ways you can illustrate your work too. Here is an example of incorporating a photograph, so using the children's own photography in their book. So here we've got a zany zebra zigzagging on a zip, and that was just a photo that was imported using the Add Media button, Photo and Video. This is an example here on this page of, just going to preview mode, of a beautiful butterfly basking in the breeze. And this was an animation that was created using the Keynote app. It was exported to the photo library, and then the same process to import it into Pages. We've also got, this is a stop motion animation. So the children created this animation using the stop motion app. Again, export to the photo library, and then you can add it to your book. And so many different possibilities. If you can save it to the photo library, you can bring it into your book. So here, an example of utilizing Minecraft. So here we've got Porky the pig plodding through the park. So yeah, huge range of options here for the children to get really creative to enhance audience experience.
Okay, now for the really important part, and that is sharing your book. So as a Pages project, your work is automatically saved within the app itself. However, when it comes time to publish in book format rather than a project, there are just a few steps that you need to follow.
So now I want to save my book. So to do so, I go up to the ellipsis tool. So that's that 3-dot menu. We're going to choose Export, and we're going to choose the file format EPUB, which is a digital book format. We can add, if it's not already there, title, author, then we're going to tap on Export, top right corner. It's going to create our EPUB document now, and then it's going to ask, well, where do you want to share it to? So in the list here, we're looking for the Books app. If you can't see it, keep scrolling across, and if you tap on more, you've got more options, and you'll find it in the list there. So I'm going to tap on Books now. Here we go. It's going to open up the Books app. And in a moment, it's just loading my books to my books library, and it will open up the book, and it will be all ready to scroll through and read and play out. If I just tap on the screen, I can tap on the arrow to go back again, and you can see everything that's sitting on my bookshelf. So how you find that from now on is you just need to, you'll find your book by opening up the Books app, the built-in Books app on your iPad.
Okay, so I'd like you to try exporting your book now. Remember to visit the ellipsis at the top of your screen, select Export, and look for Books in that list of options. Great, so your book is saved to your own device, but how do you go about sharing it with others? So there's multiple options for doing this. The one that we're going to look at right now is utilizing AirDrop.
I want to share my book onto another person's device now. So to do that really easily is to use AirDrop. So we're going to go up to the ellipsis tool again. So similar process as before. I'm going to go back to export. We're going to export again as a digital book. But this, click export. But this time, rather than looking for the Books app to share it to our own device, I'm just going to go to AirDrop. And then whoever, so I've got my friend Amanda here, I'm going to share it with her. So I'll just tap on her device. Amanda will get a message to say, look, Mandy wants to share a book with you. She'll have the option to open in her books library, and then she has that book stored on her device.
Now, what I haven't mentioned yet is that you also have the option to save directly from the Pages app to the Apple Bookstore. And so this might be something of interest to you. You might like to create your own content that you can take global. It's actually a really straightforward, easy process to work through. If you follow the link on the screen, that guides you through that process. So that brings us to the end of our session, and we hope that today's session has given you some useful ideas and that you might like to go away and explore further. We also have some links that we'll share with you via email to help you build on your learning. We'll go through some of those links now. So the best way to continue learning with us is by joining Apple Teacher. You'll get updates on new products and resources and inspiration from teachers all over the world. The resources regularly updated. More recently, there's been some great resources added related to both Mac and remote learning. And what's great is you can visit the Apple Teacher Learning Centre to access really rich teaching and learning resources whenever you want. So I highly recommend joining that. I also recommend Apple's Everyone Can Create curriculum materials, and these are published freely available on the Apple Bookstore. There's a focus on integrating photos, drawing, music, and video across all curriculum areas. These are fantastic. They contain hundreds of practical and engaging lesson ideas. As a teacher, definitely a must-see. Also, I recommend downloading the book on your screen now that's been recently added to the Apple Bookstore. It covers much of what we explored today and also a whole lot more. So I recommend downloading that one. Finally, I'd love to say a huge thank you for joining us today. Hopefully you've picked up some ideas that you can take back to the classroom. As mentioned, we'll provide a link to all the demo clips and all the resources that you've seen on the screen. We'll do that to you via email. And if you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. Ngā mihi nui.